Hi guys, and welcome back to our Football Manager 16 series, The Rise of the Moors. Now, since the last episode, we've played a fair amount of football throughout the month of December, both in the domestic cups as well as in the league. So we'll get into the highlights of those fixtures now, and then we'll have a quick discussion about what's been going on. So we'll see you on the other side. So, as you've seen guys, the big news is that we're still undefeated. We scraped through what ended up being a tight second round tie against Blyth, and as you can see there in the fixtures, we had another great draw at home against one of the Premier League teams, which is just what we wanted. So we're playing Tottenham Hotspur on the 9th of January. So, as you've seen, we're still undefeated in the league. We just edged the Gloucester game in fairness at home. It's a 2-0 win with the fastest goal in the league history for Beasley, if I'm not mistaken. On the back of that, we were absolutely clinical away against Stockport, with Beasley continuing his great goal scoring contribution. And whilst the stats were pretty close, we came out with a superb 4-1 away win there. Following that, we went into our FA Trophy qualification round at home to Banbury. Again, the stats were pretty close, but it was Jean-Michel Fontaine on his return from injury who actually scored a first half hat-trick there. And we were just absolutely clinical in front of goal in that fixture. We couldn't carry that clinical finishing into the next couple of fixtures though, so we had the FA Cup second round at home to Blythe, where it was just a bore draw. There was no real highlights to speak of. Following that, it was another 0-0 draw, but this time I was actually quite happy to come out of that Boston game at home, having not dropped any points to our promotion rivals really. It was a tight game against Boston. We played long periods of it in quite a defensive setup, and actually, in hindsight, that really shows that our second game of the season, the away win against Boston 1-0, may prove pivotal for us, and I don't think I'd put the importance on that fixture at the time, but that 1-0 win might matter come the end of the season. So following that Boston game, we had another FA Trophy fixture, this time away at Hensford, where we won 3-1. It was a good win for us really, having drawn against Hensford in the league. On the back of that game, then we had the FA Cup second round replay, and at that stage the draw for the third round had happened, so we knew that we were going to be at home against Spurs if we could win. It was another close game against Blythe though, away this time, and it was a late winner just before extra time. We were pretty comfortable in that game. Blythe didn't really offer a lot, and in the last game in the league, back in the league, it was a 2-0 win against Fylde. Statistically, we just edged it, but it was a good solid win for us with no real threat from Fylde to speak of. So as we've talked about, we're still undefeated in the league, and it was a good 0-0 draw against Boston to keep us 6 points clear at the top. And obviously we've still got that game in hand. Now, Solihull Moors in the real Vanarama North finally lost at the weekend, and they actually lost against Boston, and that was the end of their 17-match unbeaten streak. Now we're going into match day 21 undefeated with 17 wins and 3 draws. A couple of other things to talk about. The Glasgow-Sheridan combination has been fantastic for us in the last few games and has continued to be fruitful. As you can see, Glasgow with 11 assists this season now. Unfortunately, they're both injured. Thankfully for not too long on the sidelines. We're also going to be missing Jack Haddon for this Nuneaton game as well, so he's suspended. So as you can see, Ben Glasgow leading on the assist tally, Armstrong Fletcher and Franklin thankfully also providing for us. Pass completion rate, Odiambo, Jack Byrne, Fontaine, and average rating, we've got Jack Byrne, Glasgow, Walker and Street. Keenan Quansah, who I've brought into the team sheet for today, also up there, having not played too many games though. So let's get into the game versus Nuneaton today. So it's first versus sixth. They're a pretty good team, Nuneaton. Thankfully they're missing a couple of good players for them, including Marlon Harewood. So Nuneaton are really pushing for a playoff spot, I would say. And actually we haven't played fantastically so far this season against some of the better teams, so this should be quite a close game. So as you can see, we've got Odiambo and Fletcher coming in on the wings this time. Fletcher's going to have to be playing that inside forward role to give some support to Michel Fontaine. I brought Quansah in for the suspended Jack Haddon because he's been playing pretty well during the domestic cup games. And really our only option at the back to replace Ben Glasgow is to put Theo Street out on the wing, drafting in Bradley Lewis in the centre of defence. And obviously because Street will have to play limited fullback, we're not going to have that much outlet on the right wing this time, so I've told them to not look for the overlap in this fixture. Playing a normal defensive line, working the ball into the box again, but we can put on that retain the possession instruction in the game if we need to. So let's have a look at this fixture then. Yeah, Matt Fletcher's going to be lacking match sharpness. He won't see out the game, we'll have to bring someone else on, but we've got Gittings on the bench if we need to. We're the favourites for this game, but this is going to be quite a close fixture. And Nuneaton are playing 3 up top really, with an advanced midfielder there. So Quansah is going to have a really good game in defensive midfield, I would say, today. As far as the instructions go then, we're going to have to close down their top three, I would say, as well as their wing backs in that sort of formation they're playing. We'll show them onto their weaker foot, as well as their strikers. So we're hoping for Quansah to have a good game here, but we also need some contribution from Matty Fletcher, I would say. As well as Odiambo, in fairness, because we're not going to have that overlap, and that's where we've had a lot of success this season so far. So we'll see how we do in this game. It's first versus sixth, so it should be quite a close one. Looking for some good contribution from our wingers today. I haven't been playing particularly well the last few games, but here's Walker now, and he's been hacked down. Free kick to the Moors here. It's Fletcher to take this one. He slots it forward. Adam Walker on the left wing. Good delivery. Odiambo, yes! 41 seconds on the clock and Eric Odiambo scores for the Moors. This is what we brought him in for. This is what we're paying him to do. Good salary for Odiambo, and he hasn't contributed too much for us this season, but little poaching efforts like that, that's exactly what we need. So good start by the Moors. Nuneaton now, it's Morgan. Worked into Williams. Cut out by Franklin, well done mate. And that's just a wasted ball there though. Akito from Nuneaton on the left side. So they are playing three at the back with a wing back set up. Lewis cuts out that long ball. What a disaster, what are they doing? We were lucky there. Simpson with a good solid save, but they should have scored. That was poor. Lowestoft are 2-1 up at home to Boston as well. So, and 3-1 up now. So they're having a fantastic game against second in the table. 4-1. What is going on in that Boston game? And we're getting through to half time. It looks like we haven't been playing that particularly well, though. I wouldn't say. Well, Fontaine 6.3, he can look stressed as much as you want, mate, because we've got Jake Beasley on the bench to come on if needs be. I'm just going to change the instructions to retain possession here. See how we get on in this second half then. They are edging us on shots on target. Pretty comparable pass completion rate as well. Possession we are edging just though. So we're still edging possession. No real contribution by a lot of our players here though. Burns booked again. Takito with the ball in. Oh, what a save. Well done, Simpsons. 2 solid saves now. Looks like Burn is going to be suspended for the next game. Let's encourage our players here. 60 minutes on the clock. I think we're about ready to bring Michel Fontaine off. He's had a poor game so far. Jake Beasley, he's coming on. As well, Adam Walker hasn't really contributed. I think I might bring Gittings on in that central midfield role. Yeah, put him on, keep him on support. 60 minutes on the clock now. We're just edging this game. 1-0. Not many shots on target for us today though. So Keto with the throw in for Nuneaton here. He finds Daniels in the middle. Whitehouse now for Nuneaton. Morgan slots it through to Williams, and there's their wing back here. Clifton with a good ball in. It's Daniels free at the back post. What a save again and again. Double save by Simpson. At full stretch there, and he's been fantastic for us today. Fletcher with the corner, he whips it in. Oh, off the line as well. Reed breaking for Nuneaton. I'm gonna have to sort something out here because they're dominating us really. We're getting exploited now. They must be on the attack because they're throwing a lot of men forward for Nuneaton. I think now some more fresh legs are required. Our defence just haven't really turned up. I'm going to bring Gareth Dean on for Alfie Young here actually. We need a good display for him. Last 15 or so minutes then, the Moors were still 1-0 up. And Boston are losing, so if we can hold on to this victory, then we'll be 9 points clear with the game in hand. Franklin now for the Moors. He finds Fletcher. To Gittings now. Gittings, long ball over the top to Beasley. Oh, straight into the hands. Comfortable save by Smith. Don't want to waste any more time, and I don't want to drop too deep, but I think we're going to have to drop slightly deeper here. We need to retain this possession. Shorter passing, I would say, for the last 10 or so minutes. Theo Street wins that. Odiambo collects the ball now on the right wing. What can he do with it? He finds Street. Into Jack Byrne. Byrne across to Gittings. Can he slot a ball through? Out to Byrne again. Theo Street in support. He's working across. Good reverse pass there. Beasley's through. Oh, that was poor. That was poor from Beasley. He was through on goal there. Right, tell them to encourage here. The last 10 minutes. Last few minutes here then. Are we gonna nick a win here? To Quito on the left wing. Good ball forward to Repstad. Oh, and Nuneaton they've nicked a draw, I think, in the last few moments. Didn't get out to their left winger quick enough there, and it was a good ball through, and really 2 defenders round him, and finally Simpson has been beaten today. Can we make anything happen? If we go on the attack, is there time? Franklin picks it up now. Long ball forward. It's intercepted though. Reed for Nuneaton. It looks like they've got their tails up. Lane at the back. He pumps a long ball forward, but Street cuts it out, and that's full time, and it's 1-1. We didn't create enough going forward there in that game, and I think Nuneaton were good enough to draw. Simpson played fantastic, I would say. Odiambo gets man of the match, but actually Simpson made some absolutely fantastic saves for us. It wasn't our day today. So another draw for us. That's our 4th of the season. We did keep possession, we just weren't good enough in front of goal today, I don't think. That was the difference. The draw was probably a fair result for Nuneaton. But Boston have missed out on the chance there, you can see, to close that gap. And a draw for Telford as well means that they haven't really closed the gap on Boston either. So it's pretty much status quo at the top of the table there. Looks like FC United had an absolutely fantastic game against Bradford PA. So it was 1-1 in the end. No change at the top. Unfortunately, we didn't really take opportunities in that fixture, and we could have extended our lead at the top of the table as well. But we've extended it to 7 points, and we've still got that game in hand. So hopefully, if we can win our game in hand, then Boston will effectively be 3 victories behind us. So a frustrating game against Nuneaton there. So when we come back in the next episode, it will be the away fixture against Brackley at the end of January. In between now and then, we've got some winnable games in the league. We've got the reverse fixture against Nuneaton, where hopefully we can take some vengeance for that draw. And the Stalybridge game will also be another tight game. We'll also have the home fixture in the FA Cup against Tottenham Hotspur. I'm expecting a heavy loss there, but really that is one just to aid the finances, really. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.